Hello, BookTube, and I thought I'd continue with my DVDs and Blu-rays that I'd started before. I think this is part 15 or 16. I'll correct it in the titles for this. And we were getting to the. Is it here? Yeah, I think it's this shelf here. There are miscellaneous, more or less, silent films here. And it's not everything that I have, as I said before. That I because I'll show some here. I'll show the slips or the slip cards for the DVDs, which I have moved from. I've taken out of the cases. I've disposed of the cases, and I put them in some boxes that are sort of with sleeves, and that has the was the bulk of, or what was left, or partially what was left of my previous collection I had about 8-10 years ago. Now this is a series of DVD, not series. I guess I shouldn't say that. It's a DVD company. It's called Edition Filmmuseum, and it's out of Germany. I think it's in Berlin. They publish or print DVDs and some Blu-rays. I think they're starting to for English-speaking parts. So they're connected with archives throughout the English, not the English, the German speaking part of Europe, and they've got a whole line of silent films. And I don't have them all. I want them all because there are stuff that they put out that no one else does. And there's a few that I still had left that I hadn't sold, and I've got, as I say, these are the inserts that would have been in the cases. This I've got otherwise. It's Erich von Stroheim's Blind Husbands. They're just characteristically done this way on white with a picture on the front. And this is 1921, and it was his directorial debut. I believe Kino has put out. Yes, I believe, yeah, Kino Lorber has put out a Blu-ray of this. But this is and it's in sort of several languages. A booklet. I'll show you a booklet when we get to ones with cases, because I've got the booklet separated here from everything, and they're basically numbered, and this is number 3 film museum. And they don't just do silent films, they do sound films as well, and not just German either. There's other material there as well. But this is a nice edition of it. Now we've got a sort of documentary type filmmaker. For virtue of being silent, I thought it was interesting to get, and I'm glad I do, and I'm glad I still get it, because at the moment it wouldn't be on the top of my list to get. It's I don't know how to pronounce this. Die Elf Truffel Kongler Mitchenmura. It's 3 films, I think, on football/soccer. And I think they're documentary. I think she was a. Oh, is it a she? No, I'm thinking of somebody else. But I think these are documentary types. There's only like one print of any of this stuff. Yeah, it's already. Well, it says it's an early film document of the soccer match. Oh yeah, Germany versus Italy is added as a special feature. So there might be some fiction stuff in there. I don't remember. I remember watching it years ago when I got it, and this is spine number 8. Now we got a called Friedrich Schiller by Kurt Goetz, and it's number 2, spine, and it's a film about the early days of Friedrich Schiller. The youth of leading German 18th century dramatist, poet, and literary theorist Friedrich Schiller. and they all have English subtitles as well. Just to add that as an aside, and that's spine number 2, and this is the last one without the thing. Well, this is in other ones too, so this isn't sort of a rarity for the film edition Filmmuseum. And this is different from others. It is a German film from 1919, and it's an early film about homosexuality, and obviously in the Weimar Republic period, and Richard Oswald was the director of that. And this is done, well, there's several others that do it. I believe Masters of Cinema actually put out one as well, or they did in DVD. Now they've put out a series of films for films of Asta Nielsen. This is Suffragette, ABC of Love, and a few others. The Exchange, Eskimo Baby, Queen of the Stock Exchange. And they're German films, and she was a big actress at the time, sort of a sex symbol. And this is spine number 67, and it's 2 DVDs. And here's the booklet. It's a nice booklet, but the writing in English, like it's in. Let's see, you got German. You've got French, possibly. Yeah, and you have German, English, and French, at least in this one here. And these are early films in the teens, in the 19-teens, and they're really good. Actually, I have 2 copies of this for some reason. I remember them sending me this one, and then all of a sudden I received it again. And I contacted them, and they said, well, don't worry about it, pass it on to somebody else. So it's still sitting sealed. So, and I know actually where that'll go eventually. Let's see, another Asta Nielsen. This is Hamlet, and another one is 2 DVDs. 1920, 21, and an earlier one, 1913. Oh, this one was, yeah, I did say 67. And this is number 37. And here is a film about Helen of Troy. And that's Manfred Noah, and that's from 1924. It's 2 discs. It's the first time it's ever been on DVD, and it's only through them here. So as I say, there is a lot of stuff that they do that no one else has, which is nice to see people doing that. This one is a little odd. Sorry, I keep forgetting the spine numbers. Spine number 90, if that's of any interest to anyone. It's easier maybe to find. This is Karlhines Martin, and I don't know. It's a weird sort of expressionist, German expressionist film. I just can't pronounce the title. And that's from 1920, and it's 73 minutes long. And then there's a bit of other ones. Or there's something, a lot of times other shorts with it, and these, and some extras. Sometimes the extras don't fully have the English subtitles. I can't remember now, like especially if they're talking to someone. So that's a bit of a downfall to them. But that's spine number 55. It's a bit of a rarity of German expressionism. Still got a bit of the plastic on this one, covering. This is a Vertov, who was a major pioneer in Soviet cinema. He was a film historian as well and theoretician for film. I'd love to get some writings by Vertov, but his films are quite actually astounding, and with the Soviet montage. And this is about Lenin, and this is 19. This is sound actually, so it's some of his sounds and stuff. He did go into sound era, but he didn't do too many um, films. Period. Not a lot. This is a sound one, as far as I can remember. This is 3 songs of Lenin. It says next to the classic man with the movie camera, which is Vertov. This 3 songs of Lenin is the most universally acclaimed and enduringly popular of all Vertov's film. Presents the earliest surviving versions of the 3 songs of Lenin, the 1938 silent and sound reissue. So it is silent to a certain extent, but there's sound as well for that. And here's another one, Vertov. Really neat cover on that. I keep forgetting the spine numbers. This is spine number 86. And this is Sixth Port of the World, and a bunch of other shorts by Vertov, 1926-28, and a film about Vertov from 2009, sorry. And it's a poetic travelogue, a sixth part of the world, and the Visionary Symphony, the 11th year mark the beginning of Vertov's most creative period. These are just visually stunning films. This one is, you could almost say, in some ways, science fiction, because there's a lot of special effects in this. It is Wunder der Schöpfung, if that's right. Spine number 43. Hans Walter Kornblum. I'll just read what it says here because it's hard to describe it fully. The Extraordinary, and they give the title, is a unique document about the human knowledge of the 1920s about the world and the universe. 15 special effects experts and 9 cameramen were involved in the production of this fascinating film, which combines documentary scenes, historical documents, fiction elements, animation scenes, and educational impact. The DVD presents the beautifully restored film by Hans Walter Kornblum, with all its tinting and toning effects, and with a new score, and also contains an American short version of the legendary film about the Einstein theory of relativity, and rare documents about the director. So, yeah, that's spine number 43. This is something exceptional. It's what do they call it? It's Berlin Symphony, or Symphony of Berlin, and other ones, but by Walter Ruttmann. This was done in 1927. It's basically taking a camera during one day in Berlin and filming from, sort of coming in on a train and filming the streets as the city wakens, as the sun comes up, and the day-to-day things that are happening on the street, people going to work, shoppers, people getting on trams and everything. And as I say, it's 1927, and it's very interesting because you see an area that is with some Hasidic Jews, and you see Indian people, if Indian descent, I guess, or maybe they are from India, getting on trams and stuff like that. And you know that 10, 12 years later, things would have been very, very different. And it's amazing. It's an amazing film. And the music that they've got for this as well is excellent. there was a bit of a craze for sort of symphony of films, like, that type of thing, like a documentary type film that showed the cities. And somebody recently, in the last like 6 or 7 or 8 years, well, within the last 10 years, let's put it that way, has done, and they funded it to make a Symphony of London, a modern sort of silent symphony film, and it's quite interesting. This one has been put out before, but I don't know if in good. Alpha Video, which really puts out, they just sort of transfer either 9mm or 16mm ones, and they're usually cut. They're not restored, and the quality is really bad. This is A Student of Prague by Hans Heinz Ewers, 1913, or it's The Student of Prague or A Belgian with Satan. It's a really neat film, and I think this is the only sort of restored version actually there is, and that's spine number 80. And now we get to one of my favorite filmmakers, is Friedrich Wilhelm Murnau. And this is, I think, again, this is the only place you can find this one. There are box sets of Murnau's films, but this one usually doesn't show up. Trying to remember what the translation of the title is here. Love's Mockery. And I haven't watched this yet, to be honest. I just got this, I think, last year or 2020. Might have been 2020, because it's a relatively new one. It's spine number 97. And yeah, I really like Murnau. He's one of my favorite filmmakers. There's another film, something about the earth, I think, or a burnt earth, or something like that, or fire, that hasn't been released yet, I don't think, either. And another really great filmmaker, especially for silent, is Josef von Sternberg. This is The Salvation Hunters and fragments of A Case of Lena Smith. Now, this is only available through them as far as I know. And this is 1925, and The Case of Lena Smith is 1929. And yeah, it has a 20-page bilingual booklet. Spine number 105. So that's relatively new as well. Another great filmmaker that did two of Louise Brooks' potentially her best films, Diary of a Lost Girl and Pandora's Box, is G.W. Pabst, Jörg Wilhelm Pabst. And this is the Joyless Street. And it has Asta Nielsen in it again, that we mentioned, and Greta Garbo. And this is from 1925. This was when Greta Garbo was actually pretty good, or in my opinion. I didn't really care for her after a certain time. And here's one, if you want a film about opium, and it's Opium. Robert Reinhardt, and this is from 1920. I'll just read the back. It's Robert Reinhardt combines exotic thrills and erotic visuals in this film, which accompanies an English doctor to China and India on his research into the effects of opium. Yeah. That old chestnut. The color tints and tones reinforce the psychedelic vibe of the frivolous dreams populated by elves and satyrs. It's just fabulous. And that's 116, and that has some if you can see there's some cuts into this. I got this, and it was cut right through the cellophane, so I contacted, and they just said, we'll refund you, but we're not going to send another one. So, okay. I can always get another case if I want to. And now we've got the last two. Yeah. This is a Soviet film director, Mikhail Kalasov, or actually Georgian. He was actually Georgian, I think. Yeah, Georgian-born filmmaker. Yeah, but he was, and this is 1930. It's still a silent film. In 1932, I think it's silent as well. And let's see here. And he was big in the 50s and 60s. This DVD presents digitally restored versions of two of his lesser-known earlier works, which are highly controversial in their time, but now rank among the finest achievements of Soviet silent cinema. Salt for Sventina. Yeah, that's that's the title. Salt for Sventina is an austere depiction of present life in the inhospitable terrain of the Caucasus Mountains. And Nail the Boot, a biting parable of wartime irresponsibility, chillingly prefigures the later Stalinist purge trials. So yeah, and that's number 84. And the last one, oh, is this a duplicate again? I thought I already did the Student of Prague. Oh, I did. I put that at the bottom. Sorry. Yeah. So that was the last one. And as I say, there's a lot more that they've done, which I do want to get eventually. I don't know when or how, but it is sort of on my mind to get the rest of the films, especially the ones that you can't get other places. And they are quite a fantastic a company that put out. And if you're interested in German language film, avant-garde stuff, as well as silent or expressionist, then I would urge you to check them out. Just put in edition Filmmuseum. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just film and then museum. Edition Filmmuseum. Anyway, I'll be back with more of the silence eventually in the next few days. Till then, see you next time, BookTube.